Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today I'm bringing a review of the Kamen Rider Drive Deluxe Tridoron Shift Car. Now, the Tridoron Shift Car is actually one of my more favorite shift cars in the entire line, and it's actually the only other shift car that I own since I actually didn't get anything else in the line up to this point. But overall, I still think this is a really neat set, and especially since it has all, at least the main attack shift cars technically programmed into it, in order to unleash the special attacks that he does have as type Tridoron. Now, what's also interesting about this toy is that most of the features can actually be activated without the use of the shift brace and or the drive driver. So it's kind of interesting that most of the features can be just activated by pressing the two buttons that's featured on the toy. But if we're going into the toy, we're just going to go look at the box as usual. The box shows a pretty interesting design of all the shift cars being ready to attack. It shows a picture of Tridoron. Well, Kamen Rider Drive type Tridoron, should I say. Shows the Tridoron Shift Car and some LED design there. Deluxe Tridoron. And how it functions with the drive driver. So that's pretty much it for the box on its own. Now, we're just going to quickly go over the button features. As you can see, it's got a very nice shiny design. When you activate it, it will activate several sounds. There we go. As you can see, it's really cool because it's got this really awesome kind of garage light up design. But once you keep pressing the button, it will activate several different sounds, as you can see. So that's pretty much it, but then it repeats. However, eventually, when you keep pressing, it goes into another type of sound. So it shows Krim saying a different sound, and this button also activates the different sounds, but you have to press it multiple times. This is to activate the henshin. So as you can see, when you keep pressing the button, you'll activate different sounds. And that's pretty much it for the shift car on its own. I'll be back with the drive driver so we can activate the features on that belt. And here's back. I had to reset the Shift Tridoron, so here we go. We'll activate the first finisher, which is attack 1, 2, 3. So here we go. What's also cool is that it activates an alternate sound when you just activate it once. There we go. Outside of the regular finisher. Attack
1, 2, 3.
So it's sort of like an abridged version of that finisher. But anyways, we'll now go to the second one, which is... So here we go. And again. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one. Which is American Dream. And then
American Dream.
So now we're going to go to the next one. Then,
Sura Winter Commercial.
then I think the next one is the final one. Okay, so this is actually the second to last one, so here we go. And then, so you can see it has a lot of features, but it can go out of sequence if you accidentally press the button, since it kind of resets it. But anyways, now we'll go to the final one, which is Grand Prix. Which that is actually my personal favorite. We'll now go into the final. And just to show this thing does work without the use of the drive driver, we'll now go back onto the first sequence. And what's cool is that, like the other ship cars, it will actually repeat the Kamen Rider, if I've actually pronounced that properly.
Attack 1, 2, 3.
Anyways, it has one more feature, which will now repeat the Tridoron, and then I will go on to the finisher. So there you go, it's pretty much the main finisher. Well, that's pretty much what you're going to get with the Tridoron car. Now this does feature an ability to work on the brake gunner, but the mock driver on the other hand, you'll see in a minute what's wrong with it in the mock driver. And now we're back, here is the mock driver, and you'll see exactly what's wrong with it with the mock driver. I will read it, but... See, it's too big to fit in the slot, so unfortunately it is not compatible with the mock driver. But it is compatible with the brake gunner, so here we go. I'm going to turn it on.
Break your body. Autobots system.
And sadly that's all you're going to get, but it did have a set of LEDs right up here, so here we go.
Autobots system.
And it didn't, I thought it did. But anyways, we'll now activate the two sounds. So as you can see, that's pretty much all it does with the brake gunner. So similar to some of the other ship cars, it doesn't have any extra sounds. So that's pretty much it for the ship type Tridoron. Now, while the ship type Tridoron doesn't have a lot of features in the other two roleplay devices, it is mostly used for the drive driver for obvious reasons, since it is used to initiate drive's final form. Now, the ship Tridoron is a pretty cool toy, and on its own it actually does have a lot of features, and unlike the other ship cars which have no electronic gimmicks, this is the only one that has self-contained electronic gimmicks on its own, and it's pretty fun to play with without even the use of the driver if you don't have it around. And it can activate without the use of any other peripheral, so that's really awesome. Now, I got this set on a secondary market, and it was kind of hard to get a hold of. So, if you manage to find this for a good deal, maybe around the retail price or just a little bit below it, I definitely highly recommend picking this up, and it is a lot of fun to play around with. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check me out under Twitter under Darkon633. Also, please check out Hero Taco and the Gideon blog for all the latest in hero news, Kamen Rider, tokusatsu, anime, and various other things you can find there. Also, check out the channels down below, including the WW podcast, which I've listed down below. And hopefully, I'll bring more Kamen Rider reviews to you in the future. Anyways, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Bye.